Now, having left Juventus in January. As for Wesley, he goes off having been yellow carded in the first half as well. Do you think even in a friendly that kind of thing plays into Ancelotti's thinking?
Yeah, without doubt. I think the way Abdi's played for Tunisia, always bombing forward, always asking questions of the Brazilian right back, certainly has been an avenue that Tunisia have gone down over and over again. So to take him off and protect your team from going down to 10, I think is extremely important.
And Tunisia are back with us. They took the lead in the game through Hazem Mastouri in the 23rd minute. A lovely flowing move for the Eagles of Carthage, and then Estevão with the penalty a minute before half-time, giving Brazil the equaliser. As it was, Glenn Murray, for the Brazil game against Senegal on Saturday, a great tempo in the first half, end-to-end at times, but it died off a little bit in the second half. Do you think there'll be a bit more longevity here to the pace of the game?
Yes, I do. The game's very much still in the balance. Tunisia extremely happy with how they went about that first half. Now want to try and get their first win over Brazil, take the game to them. Like we've said on many occasions, they've got the most fans in the stadium. They want to entertain them. They feel as though there may be a chink in the armour of Brazil here. Why not this evening?
A crowd of almost 50,000 have certainly enjoyed what they've seen so far. Brazil playing in France for the 32nd time in their history. 18 of the previous games. Each of the last 4 in this country as well. 3-1 against France, 3-1 against Japan, 3-0 against Ghana, and against Tunisia as well. As Estevão tries his luck from range. Caio Henrique. Pull down on Casemiro, free kick Brazil.
There's one thing that Tunisia have done really well is when Brazil have been able to manufacture shooting opportunities, they've put their bodies on the line, they've got in the way. This time, Dylan Bron.
Marquinhos. Did say it was end-to-end at times in the first half in this game. This stadium was used as the basketball venue for the Paris Olympic Games the summer before last. End-to-end stuff there as well.
I'm sure it was much warmer on the court than it is this evening.
No three-pointers available here tonight, though. Just pride. Casemiro. Marquinhos. Militao misses out Caio Henrique. Vinicius. Casemiro, nice touch. And a lovely turn by Rodrigo, who was just missing the finish. That would have been a sumptuous Brazil goal.
Well, it's a lovely little feint, isn't he? He's fully aware, just turns on his right-hand side, knows that he's going into space, does the hard work. Here it's about just composing yourself a little bit more, trying to find that top corner. Doesn't quite get his angles wrong, but see there, thumbs up. The threat is still alive for Brazil.
Valerie plays in the English second tier with Sheffield Wednesday, who are hurtling towards relegation this season. Might be some light relief for him next summer if he makes the World Cup squad.
Slightly different surroundings this evening. Arguably better opposition.
Just a little bit. He certainly wouldn't be seen in the city of Sheffield wearing the colours red and white. Here come Brazil. It's a really smart run. The attempted cross actually went out last off Estevão, and it's a goal kick.
Just so well down that right hand side, doesn't he? He's got probably poise and balance, almost like a ballerina the way he moves his body, but at speed. And he's in full flow. Extremely difficult to stop. Tunisia found a way on some occasions, on others there's been blockages, but he's the man with the Brazilian goal so far.
expanded World Cup in Canada, Mexico and the USA next summer. Plenty of teams will fancy their chances of being a surprise package, and it was one of Tunisia's neighbours, Morocco, that certainly turned up in Qatar, didn't they, going all the way to the semi-finals and knocked out some big opposition on the way. Vinicius with a poor touch, unlike him. An equally poor ball by Shaqiri towards Hannibal. Vinicius, he releases Estevão. Roque tries to hammer it in there. Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes again. Just trying to measure a ball in. Casemiro. Estevão. Brazil still have it, and they can't turn this game around yet. Marquinhos. Estevão. These are the kind of positions he thrives in. Casemiro. Rodrigo. And the deflection spins it over the top for a Brazil corner.
Good by Brazil. Pressure's building already. Worked this ball really well out to Rodrigo. Good overlapping run, just drags Jan Valery out of the way slightly. Manages to just leave a leg dangling there before he goes to the runner. Luckily he did. Plenty of jostling for position inside that 6-yard area. And Valery has to be careful. Easily out by goal scorer Masturi. One thing the change for Brazil seems to have done is Roque up front instead of Cunha. Cunha more likely to drift around, to pick the ball up, different positions, and not hold that number 9 spot. Roque very much looks to be that occupying 9, holding that space to create space behind him for the likes of Vinicius, Rodrigo to get on, Estevão to drift in. Maybe it was a tactical change by Carlo Ancelotti at half-time.
Militao. Rodrigo. Seems to have stepped up his game a bit tonight. Was maybe the weak link in Brazil's attack against Senegal, despite...
At the start of this second half, there's a definite different feeling around the stadium. A lot more whistling. Not quite as much excitement from the Tunisia fans, more an air of vulnerability slightly. There's a little bit of worry that they can sense that the yellow are getting on top.
Firm challenge twice there by Militao, who protests his innocence. Caio Henrique loads it high towards Vinicius. Oh, there's a big challenge coming in this game sometime soon, but not yet, as it's played away well by Sassi. Abdi. Now here goes Vinicius. Still Vinicius saw his path to goal blocked off, but went down a little easily there. Abdi slicing his clearance, but what a takedown that is there by Hannibal. Brazil start again with Bento putting goal tonight. Actually suffers a bit with his club side Al Nassr because of certain rules in the Saudi Pro League about the number of Saudi-based players that have to play in the team at any one time. So he's actually only made one league appearance, but has played in all the cups. Caio Henrique.
We had a little joke, didn't we? See Jan Valery up against Vinicius Junior. A little joke that the opposition might not be quite up to the standard in the Championship, but he's walking right into another huge game, the Sheffield derby.
Steel City derby fast on his horizon.
2 big games in a week for Jan Valery.
Caio Henrique. Brazil moving it from right to left, left to right. Estevão has the pace to go beyond, but couldn't take the ball with him.
Does just enough, Abdi, doesn't he? It's a little nibble, gets just enough on the ball, obviously. We all know he's on that yellow card. This is a good break by Tunisia.
We are about to make 2 subs, but not before this attack is out. As they look to go ahead again, and so very nearly did. A stinging effort there from Elias Saad, but the Augsburg man can't hit the target.
Yeah, it's a really good run by Saad. Rides that challenge from Casemiro, carries on. Just wonder, could he have played it into his teammates' feet there, approaching the box? Decides not to. Feels as though this run warrants a finish. And boy, is he close. It's moving, it's dipping. It's got bent to a full stretch. See what he thinks of it there. Having a wonderful goal to put his side in front. Not quite to be.
Tunisia preparing to send on Elias Ashuri as well as Ismail Gabi here. Brazil for now, as they have done for the majority of this game, holding on to the ball. Caio Henrique.
Not quite getting forward as much, or as in as many numbers. Tunisia now more in 1s and 2s, as Brazil seem to have a stranglehold on the game.
Estevão back out. Danilo, Marquinhos, Casemiro. There's no room for Brazil to play down the centre. They're having to force it into wide areas, but they've got good players there like Vinicius. Stepping in there and looping it on was Danilo. And Valery looking really calm and confident. He's done really well for his side. And Story got a bump in the back there and wins a free kick.
See there, the bump. Centre forward play on the side of free kick, just taking that pressure off them. Brazil been camped in and around the Tunisian 18-yard box for a while now. This breaking play will help them.
Do you know a certain striker not too far from here that once got sent off for getting bumped in the back one too many times in a pre-season friendly by all accounts?
Who would that be, James?
His initials, the GM, and he sat right beside me.
Long time ago, that.
Hannibal. He really does love to tease the opposition at times.
I think you can put him down as being an entertainer. That is ultimately what the sport's about.
Tunisia holding off from making that double change. Caio Henrique gives that ball everything he'd got, but back it comes with Valery. They've got a man over here as well. Hannibal tries once and tries to set it twice. Still a chance though, but the whistle's gone for a foul.
He just nips in here. Slight kick, isn't that? Roque go down. I don't know what the fans think about it. Tunisia just getting a little bit of a spell with the ball, growing in confidence slightly. Tunisia, a bit more belief in around the stadium as well.
Yeah, real positivity from these Tunisia fans here tonight. Many connections with Lille over the years as well. Do you remember Hatem Ben Arfa, a mazy winger in his day?
Wonderful footballer, Hatem Ben Arfa was. Remember a goal he scored at St James's Park, and he dribbled through the whole team, didn't he, that day?
Well, he finished his career here at Lille, and his dad, Kamel, also played for Tunisia at international level. There's an issue here for Eder Militao. Well, they've already lost one centre-half to injury in this international window. Might they be about to lose another? I'm sure Xabi Alonso will be having a watch from further afield here.
Sure he is. Well, both managers, Xabi Alonso and also Mikel Arteta, Premier League La Liga. Big misses, Gabriel and Militao, but also And you get a look at it from a Brazilian point of view as well. Losing that defence. Strong, experienced players as we see. Masturi come off, the goal scorer for Tunisia. And he did get his opportunity. He hasn't had much in and around the Brazilian 18-yard box, but when that chance fell, he took it with aplomb, didn't he? It's a good night's work for Tunisia's number 9.
Ismail Gabi comes on for his 7th cap, another who plays for Augsburg in Germany. He's on loan from the Portuguese side, Braga, at the moment. He's a left winger, formerly of Paris Saint-Germain for 8 years until 2024, and played for both France and Spain at youth level. A Tunisian father and Spanish mother. And Brazil here are going to have to make changes as well. There's going to be a return here for Fabinho as well. He's going to come on, as well as Fabrizio Bruno, who will replace Militao at the back, first and foremost. Here's how Militao hurt himself, Glenn.
It's pretty innocuous, isn't it? Doesn't like that there. I don't know if it's a groin issue, but I think it was picked up maybe slightly earlier in the game. Definitely that's a worry. No contact when an injury happens like that.
Casemiro coming off here as well. And Fabinho comes on for him, his 30th cap. His last was in the World Cup loss to Cameroon back in December 2022. A return to the fold for the Al Ittihad midfielder. Militao goes and takes his place on the bench, but all his teammates want to know is what's the damage?
I'm sure a lot more than what your teammates want to know. I'm sure half of Madrid would like to know as well.
So Fabrizio Bruno on for Militao, and Fabinho replacing Casemiro. Lucas Paquetá also on here for Bruno Guimaraes. Paquetá, who came on towards the end of the game on Saturday, will have a few more minutes here to try and make an impact. Only played the last 7 minutes at the Emirates. Not even halfway through the second half yet. He's played a number of different positions though, hasn't he, Glenn, throughout his career so far? How do you see him slotting into this Brazil side?
Well, I think when you've got ability like Lucas Paquetá has, and you can play anywhere on the football field, but really you want to nail a position down. And I'll be hoping that he can impress this evening. Not going to get too many more opportunities before the World Cup, so you've got to try and make every minute count. If the changes that Carlo Ancelotti's made just hinder the fluidity that Brazil have had in this second half, I want to enhance them to go on and get the win.
Rodrigo clip there by Shaqiri. One of the much more experienced players in this Tunisia squad. No one more experienced than former defender Radi Jaidi, who is the country's all-time leading appearance maker. Played for the Eagles of Carthage 105 times. Maybe a break on here for Tunisia. Hannibal. So quick one. Bento.
Nice.
Ooh, and a challenge strong one on Gabi, right on the edge of the penalty area. And had it been on the line, it would have been a penalty kick for the second time in this game.
Yeah, you can see the point by the referee there. Point at Fabinho, just getting to speed of the play, seeing him come crashing through the back. Absolutely no mistake there. That is a free kick. Gabi does really well, gets turned in a dangerous position. Fabinho takes everything but the ball. Just like we had at the Emirates on Saturday, we've got another light show, James.
Seems to be a feature of so many matches now. guarantee that Tunisia will take so many fans with them to America, Mexico and Canada next year in what is going to be the greatest World Cup of all time, with so much colour, so much excitement across 16 venues. None of that in anyone's minds on the field right now. It's a free kick to Tunisia.
I'm glad you've built the World Cup to be the best ever. Hopefully it delivers.
Ilyas Saad is going to take it, but he hits the wall. Injury here for Brazil as well. So the play stopped by the referee, Jérôme Brissat. Hannibal having a word to say about something as well.
I think it's actually the draft excluder that gets stepped on here. Is it? Yeah, somebody falls over the back. I think it's Bruno. Fabrizio Bruno just stands on him. That's the last thing you expect. It's the draft excluder. Maybe getting hit by a ball going 40 miles an hour, but not a 15-stone centre-half stepping on you.
An occupational hazard.
I'm sure Steval will be having a little word in Carlo Ancelotti's ear. But next week, or the next time they meet up, he doesn't want to be the draft excluder anymore.
It's the job that no one wants. It's the job that someone often has to take. Brazil here with a free kick. We're waiting for the first shot on target of this second half.
Well, it can't be too serious. Militao's still on the bench. I think that is a good sign for Brazil. Usually if it's that bad, you're right off down the tunnel, getting a shower.
Well, I was going to say, with a muscle injury, especially in the temperatures that we've got here tonight that are only just above freezing, surely has to be a positive, because you would expect him to go and get some treatment on it.
Well, for all we know, he might be sitting on an ice pack. So we'll hold judgment on that one.
I'm glad I'm not sat on an ice pack, I can tell you that. It's cold enough anyway. The last international game of the year for these two countries. Brazil have suffered 3 defeats in it, away to Argentina, Bolivia and Japan.
Well, next up for Qatar, sorry, for Tunisia is Qatar, isn't it? And then right into the AFCON. And I think the manager, Sami Trabzonspor, will be absolutely delighted with how his men have gone about their business this evening. Put them in really good stead. Going into that game against, I think it's in the Arab Cup, and then right into the AFCON. When they come up against Uganda, Nigeria, Tanzania, I definitely fancy his chances going into that competition.
Yeah, a mix of opposition for them to come. Africa Cup of Nations starting in Morocco just before Christmas. It's an earlier start than usual for this edition. Enrique penalised for using a hand here.
The crowd, certainly here in Lille, enjoyed that little spell of possession, didn't they?
I think if you're a side who can play ole football against Brazil, you're probably doing something right. And the fans are very much revelling in that.
What was the quote you said on Saturday? Just like watching Brazil in red.
Here they go again. Media. And by Sassi, they're growing in confidence here with Valery. Still Valery. Nicely guided to Shqiri. Valery gives away the free kick.
Well, what Tunisia do have is they're certainly organised. They've got that little bit of bite about them, haven't they? They've got a tenacity about them. They also seem to have a belief going forward. They commit numbers, and when they do get those chances, more often than not, they put them away. So AFCON up first, like we said, they'll fancy their chances. And then going into the World Cup, why couldn't they be the one that surprised everyone around the world?
That's what they'll be hoping. That World Cup draw in New York City coming on the 5th of December.
Remember the 5th of December.
Well, certain teams might if they get a favourable draw, or maybe a memorable one. Some iconic stadiums involved in the World Cup next year. Fabinho hammers that there into the Tunisian player, and that will be a painful one, especially on a night like this.
I think he might have hurt his eye here. This ball doesn't know much about it, does he? Scary. One of those where you turn, before you know the ball's hit you, you've still got your eye open. It just kisses your eyeball. What a nice situation to be in.
On a free kick after Rodrigo was flattened. Tunisia have only made one change in the game so far. They're quite happy to keep with what they've got out there and not upset the equilibrium from their point of view. And things might get better for them. Hannibal. Gabi up with him. There is Gabi. Sad was in the middle, over to Valerie. To goalkeeper Dahman. Made some important saves in the first half.
The offside there. He was actually waving his goalkeeper, don't play it to me. He haven't quite kept up with play. Well, they played it anyways.
It's Brazil who come. Roque. Estevão, who's been quiet since half-time. Rodrigo. Paquetá. Way off his usual high standards.
Well, you can see what Paquetá is trying to do here, trying to dig it for under him, create that spin, that whip into that top corner. But as the ball approaches him, just bobbling, really hard to do, hard technique. Didn't quite get it right on that occasion.
Things not going Carlo Ancelotti's way. He's actually had a checkered history inside this stadium. He's lost 3 of 6 games against Lille. Lost here with Real Madrid in the Champions League group stage last season. Vinicius and Militao were both in his team that night. Lost 2-1 here with Paris Saint-Germain, who he would win Ligue 1 with. And drew 0-0 here with Milan as well in the group stage of the Champions League back in 2006. He had some Brazilian influence in those days as well, with goalkeeper Dida, Cafu at right back and Kaká.
Well, but Philly probably hasn't fared much worse anywhere else in his career. It's been glittering, hasn't it?
Albeit that draw with Milan at Lille's old stadium, this a very new one. Built only 10 years ago in the southeast of the city. It does have a retractable roof, but they've decided to keep it open and pure for this game here tonight.
Sure, much to the disappointment of the players, who I'm sure prefer it to be a little bit warmer this evening out there.
I think especially in tennis circles, the grass does get a little bit more sweaty, doesn't it? But that would really have to change some with the temperature we've got in here tonight. Vinicius. An escape here from Media. And 3 are chasing him. Here's Vinicius. Early ball for Estevão. Estevão. He's set it for Rodrigo. Danilo. Behind Fabinho. Kyron Riki. A header miss there by Talbi, but not to his side's cost. Marquinhos with a miscue. And the header wasn't the best either, but recovered by Fabrizio Bruno.
Well, what I will say, one of Carlo Ancelotti's changes at half-time, Wesley off and Danilo on, just seems to give Brazil a little bit more stability down that right-hand side. Will it be one of the older faces that he goes to when it comes to the World Cup? Danilo coming on, 34 years old, someone with plenty of experience, like the man next to him as well. Marquinhos, we'll go with that. stability and that experience come next summer.
Let's give and go. Played in towards Vitor Roque. Hasn't really been able to show what he's about since coming on. Joined Palmeiras for a South American record fee of €25.5 million after leaving Barcelona last year. Still 21 goals in 2025 as well.
Poor pass there by Sassi, wasn't it?
Carlo Ancelotti not happy, really theatrical on the bench at the moment, making his feelings known. And someone has been called for. Just trying to see who it is taking off his shirt down beneath us here. Here comes Vinicius. Oh, lovely. Through the legs, Vinicius. What a challenge after that.
Good challenge by Skahiri, reading the danger, aware. When Vinicius skips by, Mebri is there. It's one thing that Tunisia are. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Luis Enrique is going to be coming on in just a minute. Rodrigo. He's now stayed down, holding his right hamstring. Well, cold temperatures can be a problem, can't they, Glenn, with muscle injuries?
Yeah, they can, and maybe Alonso, I think he'll be behind the sofa by this stage. If this is a hamstring injury for Rodrigo, sure he'll be right on the phone to the former Real Madrid coach and ask why you keep my men on so long. The last thing he'll want is to lose two men of the same nationality in one night. Good to see Rodrigo up. Hopefully just a twinge. That is one thing Tunisia have done really well on the evening, is keep men between the goal and the ball, frustrate Brazil into many, many long shots from 18 plus yards. Shooting from that distance, it's got to be special to beat someone like Darman. Haven't quite been able to do it so far.
Bron has been boxed in somewhat here. Vinicius does really well. Roque. Oh, Roque goes down, it's another penalty. Referee Jérôme Brissard points to the spot for the second time this evening. And it's been for Brazil on both occasions. And Tunisia only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, a little bit of poor play there, and they try and stupidly play their way out in a couple of situations here. Sassi trying to turn in his own box. And then once Roque gets the wrong side of him, just pulls him back slightly. Hasn't done much, the Brazil centre forward, but he's just bought his team a penalty where he falls over, a little bit theatrical for my liking, but on a couple of occasions there, Tunisia trying to play out, undoing all the hard work they've done throughout the evening. Leaves that man there with no option but to point at the spot for a second time. A bit more assured this time. It's Paqueta on the ball this time.
Lucas Paqueta, who's going to have the chance here. Two of his last three goals for his country have been from the spot. And the West Ham midfielder steps up. Oh, it's over the bar! It's poor from Paqueta, and it remains 1-1.
Oh, you can hear the crowd. It's been welcomed in this stadium. You just wonder, he stuttered his run just a little bit too much. It's that cat and mouse, isn't it? Who's going to blink first? Is the goalkeeper going to move? And when Darman holds his position, it makes Paqueta make a decision. He's lost the momentum in his run, and he has to dig it from underneath him. Leans back just a little bit too much and puts it over the bar. It's a huge chance goes begging for Brazil. Tunisia are absolutely delighted. They're still in this game.
Well, Rodrigo is coming off here for Brazil. And it will be Luis Enrique to come on. Luis Enrique of Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia. There's a problem here for Tunisia, who were going to make changes anyway. And Elias Ashuri, who was going to come on probably 15 or 20 minutes ago now, is eventually going to get the nod.
Nothing worse as a professional footballer. Just about you're going to step foot on the field of play and your manager says, put the bid back on. We'll have another 10 minutes, especially when it's against Brazil. That man there coming off, applauding the fans. Absolutely outstanding, both in defence and attack. Constant threat on that left-hand side. Best player on the park in the first 45 minutes. Carried that yellow card very well, didn't he?
So they are going to take off Abdi and Sad, the two players on that side. And they'll send on Tada Benuaras of Kashim Pasha of Istanbul, the Turkish side. So left winger for left winger, the 31-year-old comes on. The man to be introduced is Elias Ashuri of Copenhagen in Denmark. In the friendly against Jordan just a few days ago. His fourth goal this season for club and country.
Hannibal doing well there. On the side of free kick, as that ball gets in front of him, just puts the brakes on. Can Tunisia take this momentum, make it count? A famous victory over Brazil. Can they muster a couple more opportunities to test Bento? I haven't quite tested him as much in this second half as they would have liked, especially compared to the first. Can they muster something up in the remaining 10 minutes of this game?
Enrique has gone to play off the right-hand side. Vinicius stays left, but Brazil playing high and wide here now. Caio Henrique. Not too much into that. Just going back to the penalty that I wanted to ask you about before the substitutions. We see so many players these days stutter in their run-ups, don't we? You do take a massive risk by doing that, even if it works for some.
Well, I think you've just got to be extremely good at it. You've got to be supremely confident as well when you're doing it. And like I say, it turns into that cat and mouse of who's going to blink first, and really the attacking player wants the goalkeeper just to show his hand, show him which way he's going to go, and then the art to roll it in the opposite corner. On this occasion, Diamond doesn't do that. He stands poker-faced, stays strong, and he makes Paquetá make a decision. And that instinct, that moment, just lost the momentum he's run, and all of a sudden you're on top of the ball and you're having to dig it out from underneath you, and just chucks it up in the air. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to feel it in that top corner, but listen, you only need to get it slightly wrong in a penalty kick and you missed the target. And we mentioned when Paquetá came on that these minutes in a Brazil shirt were precious, and when he came on he had to make them count. Well, if anything, he's probably put doubt in his manager's mind.
Marquinhos. Into the final 8 minutes of normal time. Brazil looking to secure the victory to keep a 100% record against Tunisia. First game against them back in 1973 when they were on a tour of Africa and Europe. A couple of goals for Paulo César, Valdemiro and Levinha scored that day.
I mean, when you mention not only this game but the Senegal game that we covered as well, the weight that that Brazilian shirt holds, such expectancy, not only in your home nation but around the world, of the players that have gone by, the heroes of the sport, the legends of the game that have worn that yellow Brazil. When it comes your turn to pull that shirt on, it must be an extremely heavy one. You need to produce, you need to win World Cups. Can this group do it? Can Carlo Ancelotti lead them to what will be another World Cup?
Yeah, and what his first national team job with a country that never before have given the head coach position to a non-Brazilian.
Yeah, many in Brazil didn't like that decision, did they? It's not Carlo Ancelotti winning that nation over to a certain extent. I suppose when you look at recent results, I wouldn't say it's an extremely happy camp. That's why I think it's very important that leading into this World Cup, more than rest players, find out your best 11. It's about taking some momentum and some national belief into the competition.
It's hard to imagine, really, for such a storied footballing nation that Brazil haven't won the World Cup now since 2002, when we saw the great Ronaldo score against Germany in the tournament held in Korea and Japan.
Is that the real Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo?
They call him the OG.
Yes, we do.
Marquinhos. Lucas Paquetá.
I'm actually disappointed we haven't bumped into him. I was hoping we might have seen him in the press lounge on one of the occasions. Now that for me, he's a superstar.
Straight through to Davman. Of course, Tunisia would greatly accept a draw, I'm sure. Brazil still feel like they have business to do in this game. That ball wasn't carrying through to Bento. Lucas Paquetá. Kyle Enrique. Roque. Vinicius. Vitor Roque has gone on. Lucas Paquetá. Fabinho. Big tempo to this game still. The subs haven't really broken this one up. Luis Enrique. Having to manufacture something all alone out there. And in the end, ran out of room and ideas.
Yeah, he's got to read the situation better there, Luis Enrique. 2 to go past. You haven't really got any speed or momentum with you already. Difficult to go past 2 men like that. Needs to be something extremely special. Had someone backing him up. Maybe recycle the ball. And in the box, keep that pressure on.
Here come Brazil. Vinicius. Oh, he was going to bend one there on his weaker side instead, and it showed. They have snatched at a few chances tonight. He's so talented, front line of the Seleção.
He manages to get his half yard. Vinicius has that half yard very often this evening, as he can't quite wrap his left foot around that effort and direct it back on target. Did come to life after conceding earlier on in the game, but when you look at the whole 86 minutes we've played so far, it's been a quiet one from Vinicius.
Well, one man who hasn't been quiet, Hannibal Mejbri, who's going to come off here. Quite the ovation he's getting, and what a night he's had.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on to say that, James. One man that has not been quiet, one man that is there's an expectancy rides on his shoulders. That Tunisian red, it's that man there, Hannibal, and he's lived up to that expectation. He's drove his team on. He's been tenacious, he's got challenges in, he's got forward. What he has done is he's led by example.
Shawa comes on, the centre forward who's got 6 goals this season for Club Africain in Tunisia. Hit a career best 17 last season at Sahel. Prompted him to change clubs. Plenty of this Tunisian squad do play in their homeland, but they represent so many clubs across Europe as well.
And the game is just getting dragged a little bit more and more open, isn't it, as both teams just try and stretch themselves to get a win under their belt. Goals are appearing. More and more open the game as it just ticks on. I think Tunisia do really well when they do get forward, is they get back with the same energy, because they know the danger that this Brazilian team holds, especially going forward. And even though you've closed them out, you've let one in, but the game's in the balance in the 88th minute. Just a slight drop of the shoulder or a moment of magic.
Luis Enrique.
Disastrous.
Estevão running here at Talbi. He goes down. No penalty this time. It wasn't going to be the hat-trick from the referee.
Not yet, it wasn't. Just see those dancing feet. As soon as you dance into that 18-yard box, you've got to be so careful. Couldn't really tell who won that ball from that angle we had there, could we? And we see potential penalty check once again.
Well, there's not a lot in it either way, is there?
You were a little bit quick to write that off, James, especially with this man with the whistle.
Hard for the referee to judge, really, because he was running from out to in. The man who had the best view of it all was the assistant out there, Erwan Finjon. There's contact, isn't there?
I'm not sure if it's... He's not give it. For once, the referee has not given a penalty. Yeah, there was a dangling leg in there. See here, no penalty, play on.
Ancelotti watching the stadium clock that is fast ticking towards 90 minutes.
Well, when you look at Brazil, that will give them in the last 3 games: a loss against Japan, a win against Senegal and a draw against Tunisia. For me, it's a little bit of a worry.
You've seen every minute that Brazil have played throughout this international window. Why, at the moment, are they not being more convincing?
Well, they can be absolutely scintillating at times. They really can, and you see that old Brazil as 4 minutes goes up of added time, and you can see the capabilities and the experience in the squad. Maybe just a slight bit of belief lacking. That's why I feel as though it's so important to take momentum into the World Cup, that belief. Because we know when these players are at the top of their game, there could be absolutely no stopping them. But losing 2 centre-halves in the international break doesn't help either. And I suppose when you assess their substitutes, the likes of Danilo coming on at 34, Fabinho 32, maybe looking back slightly. Yes, your star boy's only 18 years old. He's very much looking forward, and there's a huge amount of pressure on that young man's shoulders, which he seems to thrive under. Steval.
Luis Enrique. It's been such a strong 2025 for Tunisia. They've won 8 of 10 games played with their 18. Only 1 defeat away to Morocco, and that was in a friendly in June. Trying to hang on here. What will go down as a famous draw for their national team. And you know, in the bars and the restaurants and the cafes back in Tunis, they'll be cheering on every second, every pass, every tackle now.
I must say, James, as we tick towards the end of this game,
Luis Enrique can't find the room for the cross. It is a corner to Brazil.
I'm going to hold my comment until this after this corner's been played.
It's a corner to the Seleção. The man known as Messinho in Brazil. Steval is going to take this corner. Great whip on it as well. Tunisia have been so dominant in the air at times. Luis Enrique there gives away a free kick, and it's a really soft one to concede.
Well, now that there's a little break in the play, I will go on to say I've been so impressed with Tunisia this evening. Really did think, after seeing Brazil on Saturday, that they could blow Tunisia away, but Sami Trabesni's men have been absolutely superb. They know what they are. They've got a real understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. They've played to them, other than giving that penalty away in the second half and maybe trying to overplay at that moment. Didn't quite get punished for that, and I think their all-out performance has probably deserved that little bit of luck of Paqueta missing that penalty, but there's a real confidence about this group going into, firstly, an AFCON. If they can go deep into that, if they could even win that, the momentum that they could take into the World Cup finals could be quite scary.
Just seeing that big header away again there by Yassine Meria. He was the man to go down after he managed to get it away, but it's back up and okay. Well, there's been some noise here tonight at the 4th biggest stadium in France, the 3rd biggest club stadium behind Marseille's Velodrome and the Groupama at Lyon. And the crowd tonight of 46,698. Brazil have had over 100,000 fans watch them over the last couple of matches. They draw the crowds wherever they go.
They do indeed. After all, they are Brazil.
Well, who knows how long is left. We've played the 4 minutes. It's up to the referee now. Probably at least another couple to go. Fabinho with a header. Could Tunisia really upset the odds with a late winner here? Gabi! This stadium would have been shaking had that one gone in.
Well, it's the first sight of Gabi's had since he's come on, and he wasn't going to pass this opportunity up. A little step over just outside the 18-yard box. Tries to take it on his left foot, found that bottom corner. Doesn't quite get his angle right. You could see his name in lights for a second, the young man.
Fabinho. Estevão, Brazil might win it here! Oh, it's off the post! Both sides coming close to a late winner in added time, and that is the last kick. And Estevão inches away from securing a win for Brazil as it ends in a draw.
Yes, and as we speak, full-time whistle's gone and Estevão still face down behind the goal because he knows it was a huge opportunity as he danced his way through that Tunisian defence once more. Late drama here at the Stade Pierre Mauroy. Both teams trying to win it late on. Fortunately, no one could quite get there. It ended a tie.
And quite the game it's been as well. It was Tunisia that took the lead midway through the first half when Hezem Mastouri beat Bento from close range. Brazil, though, after a VAR check, scored a penalty a minute before half-time when Estevão struck. And then, after a missed penalty from Lucas Paquetá, 12 minutes from time, Brazil unable to win it. It finishes here in Lille. Brazil 1, Tunisia 1.